got an inside look at that to see how that happened as a jury. And when you think about that testimony, I hope that you can see with your own eyes how things happened for them as police officers. And more specifically, thinking about this fact. The Oak Ridge Police Department had a report that a person had a body in a freezer. A patrol officer responded and left. Inquired of the defendant, and the defendant lied. Confirmation, liar, right? You heard it on tape. If at that moment, the Oak Ridge Police Department hadn't taken it serious enough to assemble the battery of men and women who charged that house, where would we be? And why? Why do you think they assembled that battalion of people to go over there and go into this house? And I want you to put thought into this and think about, it starts with Robert Mansfield. It starts with him and his conversation with Rebecca Dishman. And then Roy Hines with his conversation with Rebecca Dishman. And Marvell Moore, his conversation with Rebecca Dishman. And none of them went, this one's going to Ridgebrook. We're going to take her to the mental ward over there at Methodist Medical. Right? None of them did that. So I want you to think about their actions based on the words and the perceptions and everything that they perceived when they sat from me to you, from Rebecca Dishman, from us. They sat from her and they heard from her. And did they take it serious? Oh, yeah, they did. Because you heard Mike Ewer, that seemed crazy. A frozen body in a freezer. Be easy to dismiss, right? But they didn't. And that's a testimony to Rebecca Dishman's believability and openness and candor in her disclosures to them. You think about it, if for some reason Rebecca Dishman had somehow his ability to hide secret Jennifer under the bed, toss her under the bed, under sheets and whatnot, if that had worked, and where she'd end up, Solway Bridge, dumped over the Solway Bridge, or Raccoon Valley at the waste management facility somewhere, right? And nothing on her body except an unknown male profile. Hate to be that unknown male profile. But the Oak Ridge Police didn't. They took it seriously because of Rebecca Dishman's disclosure. And just like Colton Mahogany Pico, who took it seriously, they put their trust and faith in what she said. They took it to a judge, and they found what they needed to find. And they brought Jennifer home. Larry Dowdell, the responding KPD officer, he thinks he's breaking up a neighborhood dispute. You heard from him. The first thing that you can conclude common sense wise when you think about Larry Dowdell is what the information you got from Mahogany, that he's a control freak, that he is in control of everything, is the fact that when Larry Dowdell shows up, by golly, there's Sean Finnegan. He raced in from the pint house. He's back here in Oak Ridge from Merchants Road, cussing out the neighbor, threatening to fight, gonna kill him, says Colt. And there are the police. By golly, he's going to head around and he's going to meet them. He's going to be in control of this situation because he's got a body up in his freezer. And he meets with the Oak Ridge police, and you heard that interaction. And Sarah Keith started this trial with that's his words. Is there a body in your freezer? No, that's liar. Confirmed liar. You have a confirmed liar in your courtroom. You can prove it. You know it. You heard him on tape say that he didn't have a body in his freezer, and you know it was. Confirmed.
The DA not pulling any punches with this defendant. He is on fire. I tell you what, I'm really enjoying watching his closing arguments. He is good, making sure the jury has all of this evidence to arm them with what they need to decide the facts of this case. And he knows that they're playing the long game here, right? This is a death penalty case, so the state has to get through the guilt-innocence phase here and now, and if they do, then it moves on to the penalty phase. And tell you what, this DA is fully prepared. He is sharp. Let me bring in someone else who's really sharp. Retired police lieutenant. He was a commanding officer of the Nassau County Police K-9 unit, the owner of Houndstown, USA, an expert witness now. Mike Gould on the program. Lieutenant, good morning. Nice to see you. You've seen a lot in your years of service. This case, boy, oh boy, it has heads spinning all over the world, people watching this one. What are your thoughts hearing this evidence, Lieutenant?
Yeah, excuse me. Good morning, Julie. Yeah, I often talk about how desensitized I have been over the many years in law enforcement, and I usually only get hooked into an emotional state of mind when we're dealing with animals and very young children. But I have to acknowledge this one, it takes the cake. This guy is a monster. He makes Jeffrey Dahmer look like a Boy Scout. So this is horrendous. This is a horrendous situation for the jury, the family. This is beyond the pale. We all have that little creepy house in our neighborhoods. We drive by and we look at it and we say, boy, that's creepy. But the residents usually go undetected. This guy was like a flashing light, red light. He's threatening neighbors. And unfortunately, our criminal justice system isn't perfect by any means, and the laws are the laws. And it's just a horrendous situation. And if there's a case for the death penalty, whether you're pro or for or against the death penalty, if this case isn't it, I really don't know what case would be.
Oh, you're so right, Lieutenant. You're so right. This case has all of the aggravating factors to it, according to what police and the DA has laid out here. This guy seems like beyond sick. I've got a clip. Let's brace ourselves as we listen to this one. This is pretty disgusting what we're about to play, but this is the testimony. His co-defendant, as you know, Lieutenant Gould, came in, Rebecca Dishman. She took a plea to try to lighten up her sentence. No question she had a part in this. But from what prosecutors have said, the person culpable for the murder and who carried out things like the rape and all of that, they say Sean Finnegan. Let's listen to what else Sean Finnegan was doing as part of this horrific abuse.
There was 1 or 2 times that I caught him masturbating to Jennifer.
Could you describe that scene for us?
The first time I was taking a shower and I came in to put my dirty clothes in the hamper and he was masturbating and he held out his hand and I was confused as to what it was until I looked over and he had cut off her nose and intimate areas.
And what did you do when you walked in and saw that?
It freaked me out. I ran downstairs and was almost outside of the door, but he yelled at me to get back inside.
Ran downstairs at that point, you said?
Yes.
And he yelled at you?
Yes.
What happened after that?
After I went upstairs, he closed the door and made me perform oral sex on him because they aroused him.
Oh my gosh, this guy's even more revolting than I thought. Lieutenant Gould, what did you think here in that clip from the co-defendant?
Yeah, Julie, this is the height of depravity, and I know she's a key witness, and without her testimony, we wouldn't be here today. So she was a critical part. However, we talk many times on the show about the battered spouse or battered woman syndrome or battered relationship syndrome. But I think, and we kind of, shouldn't we draw a line in the sand where if this person had an opportunity, I mean, this isn't just being battered. She's witnessing the most heinous, horrendous crimes I can even think about. So doesn't she have some kind of responsibility to get help and not just, so I struggle with that battered syndrome. So yeah, no, I don't get this. I really, these things get worse and worse. I don't know if it's just that I'm reviewing these more often, but these cases seem more heinous than ever. I've seen organized crime hits, dismemberment. They don't rise to this level of depravity and sickness. So I don't know. This is a tough one, Julie.
It really is. If I was on that jury, my blood would be boiling at these facts brought in against this guy. I know yours too, Lieutenant. And I really appreciate the point you made about this co-defendant, because she does have culpability. You are absolutely right. And it seems to me that while sure, she was victimized, she also didn't help. She also chose to preserve herself, chose to look out for her own life. She was afraid of him. She was afraid she would be next, essentially. And so it seems like that's where, her moral compass stopped when it came to what she could do to keep herself alive. And she's going to have to live with that. I mean, she'll hopefully be in prison for the rest of her life. And hopefully she lives with that on her conscience and not helping Jennifer Paxton more. Lieutenant Gould, I've got more questions for you. We're going to talk more about how we don't know who we're living next to after we take a break. The jury's still out. Let's look at the clock as we go to break. 4 hours, 52 minutes and counting. And we're going to see more of that prosecutor on fire, calling this defendant a big, proven liar. Stay with us. This is Court TV Live. We are your front row seat to justice.